Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This video here is going to be the first of a multi-day series I want to do, fishing just little greenways within an hour of where I live. And if you're wondering what a greenway is usually a shared use path in a urban or rural setting set aside for environmental protection or recreational use. So any little trail system or park or something like that with, jungle gyms and, exercise equipment, and as you can tell, little tennis fields, stuff like that. A park, basically. A lot of them usually have creeks and things like that running alongside them, so we're going to try to find one for each video and keep them within an hour of where I live and see what we can catch them. So let's go fishing. I'm also using a different camera because my GoPro 9 apparently decided to crap itself. And yeah, it's kind of my fault too. Tried to do some underwater filming with it and it took in water and works, but the audio's screwed. So we're working with a GoPro Hero 11 with Creek Fishing Adventures loaned me. So let's see how this works out. I've also only fished this creek one other time. I don't think I even made a video on it, but I see one. See if we can catch one. Alright, we're gonna go down a little ways. I kind of want to go the opposite direction, but I really don't know what any of this creek looks like, because it's been about a year and a half, 2 years since I've been down here. And I'm also not going to name this little creek because I'm not giving out spots. Hey, we got something. What it is? It's barely hooked too. Fine specimen of a long-eared sunfish. Man, them are some pretty fish. See, a lot of these little greenways and stuff, they've got, like I said, little creeks or streams or something running along them. And they more often than not have some decent fish in them. Like that one, I kind of jacked up the leg of it, but I just got that one on a little 64th ounce ball head jig with a just a brown trout magnet. Pretty much anything that just looks like a little bug falling out of a lot of the trees and bushes is going to be plenty to get their attention. This little spot looks promising. Got quite a bit of rocks. The stream is split off in two places. Got a slightly deeper pocket right here, plus a calmer spot. Ain't no telling. And I think most of what's right there in that little pocket's too small to get it down, which it takes quite a bit for something to be too small to get a trout magnet down. As slim as those profiles are and as small as they are. There we go, that was quick. What do we got? Fine specimen of what I would believe is a female red-breast sunfish. Now, is there anything else down there that wants to eat? Yep, apparently there is. Just a bluegill there, not anything huge, but we'll count it. I'll take numbers of small fish like that one all day, every day, if it means catching fish. Typically your little greenways and stuff like this are actually going to be in pretty good shape depending on how well your Parks and Rec maintain the area. This one seems to be in pretty good shape. I mean, there is, typical trash floating around, because and now I'm stuck. Because, water rises, floods, stuff like that. It's going to carry trash from elsewhere. but a lot of them are typically in pretty good shape. Dang, I got bit 2 times there, 3 times. They're just too small. Nah, I got that one though. What are you? You are just a little creek chub. We might switch up and try something different once we go back down the way we started from, but that just depends on how well everything bites, and so far it's not been too bad. So don't fix what ain't broke, basically. That's another one. Well, that was a creek chub, but we did come in contact with it. Oh shoot, I think that was right off the bat. I'll go over my setup here in just a little bit, tell you what I'm using and all that, and that's going to be a massive snag unless I can get a danglefish. Oh shoot, and I had a danglefish. Well, don't look like I'm getting that one back. Ooh, got something decent here. What do we got? Oh wow, look at this red breast. And that thing is in really pretty colors. It's all about that little trout magnet. Let's get a picture and chunk it back. Oh, that one just hammered it. Got this another species, little greenie. Alright, you can get them fins down now. No flopping, no flopping. Save us both the trouble. You don't spine me and I don't eat you across this creek. That's how we roll. You know, the one downside to using hooks without collars on them to keep your bait in place is, of course, they slide everywhere. But I would rather take 2 seconds to readjust a bait than have to replace a bait because of that collar tearing it to pieces. Stay hooked, stay hooked, stay hooked. You've got to be the teeny tiniest green sunfish, and you're probably the one over there that had enough attitude to get that one down. So I'm not going to spend any more time down here under this bridge, because that seems like that's all that's down here is micro shiners and micro sunnies. So we are going to make our way downstream and see if we can find something just a smidge bigger. Now, as with the majority of, small creek sessions like this, you don't need any kind of heavy gear. Just a pack of, jig heads and some small grubs, a little ultralight rod. I think a bad place to do this. But a little ultralight rod, 1000 or 500 series reel. It's, 2, 4, or 6 pound line. It's plenty. The rod and reel we're using today is a ACC crappie stick, 6 foot 1 piece, split grip, medium light with a Shimano Stratic 1000 and 12 pound JDM braid. And really you don't need braid that heavy for small creeks like this. The reason I've got this set up here is this JDM braid is the same diameter as, say, 6 to 7 pound braid. So it's much, much stronger, but much, much smaller in diameter, which is going to help with your casting with these ultralight jigs. There's actually a bunch of little fish right here off this bank, and I'm trying to stay back a little bit, which I know they already seen me, but that's besides the point. Hey, we got something. What do we got? Seems like I have the same problem here as I do up on the river. There we go. Dude. Just barely hooked. That's one of the biggest green sunfish I've caught in a long time. Well, probably the second biggest of this year. Pretty little fish. Like this is... Creek Fishing Adventures made his hats off of these fish. And there's a reason why. When everything's all nice and cold outside and, you know, stuck up for the winter and just not biting and you're just waiting for that spring bite, when you start seeing those green sunfish come out, when you start seeing them come out to play, that means the creeks are livening up, getting more active. Hey, there's a sock. And the fishing is going to get better. You know, I've got a small box of teeny tiny little crankbaits and stuff like that I should try, but I'm hard-headed, and once I tie one thing on, I just stay with it. How did I manage to lasso the tail of my own lure? You get special talents when you're using braid. You tie knots in places that shouldn't have knots tied. I got you that time. What it is, what it is. Ah. Chill. Little freshwater piranha. Little long-eared sunfish. Like, these things are so aggressive. And they always have real pretty colors like that on them. Small ones, big ones, spring, summer, fall. I never really see them during the winter time, but they always have those real pretty colors like that on them. There's a couple little, not little, but decent size for compared to what we caught. Bluegill or something other over there. It's just getting a cast accurate. Like, I can reach it, but I've got so much odd placed brush overhanging here. And it's still gonna be a nightmare if I get lucky and catch one because of all this stuff in front of me. Got that one. It's a decent redbreast, probably the biggest fish of the day. Pretty fish. I think that's about the only one over there that's willing to bite anyway. Let's go back down to the little log jam. What are these things? Like, they're all over this tree, and I seen them in another spot in a previous video, but they're about the size of an egg, and they smell really fruity, almost like a pear, but sweeter. But they're definitely not pears. Anyway, if you want to support the channel, check out that top link in the description. That's my mule fishing affiliate link. Whenever you buy something through that link, I get a little bit of a kickback. Mule fishing's got all sorts of goodies. Little tackle boxes, hats, plastics, bobbers, jig heads, spinner stuff, you name it. There's all kinds of goodies over there. So if you like the channel and you want to support it, go buy you some stuff through that link. And let's get back to fishing. Hey, that came out of nowhere. Monstro El Gigante. Pretty little fish. Sitting here stripping some braid off of my rod because this JDM stuff, it's so fine it frays easily. I think that'll be enough to get us in a good clean slate to work with. And I believe I'm going to tie on one of the little micro jigs in my other box. That way I can get some of these other tiny little fish down here where we were. Take our line and put it in our pocket instead of leaving it laying. And none other than our handy dandy mule fishing box. We've got some 1/80th, 100th, and 1/200th ounce jigs. I believe what we'll do is go with one of these little, I think these are 100th ounce or 1/80th ounce. And I forget what this is actually called, but it's a little ice fishing grub from Sake Fishing. I'll leave it on the screen or in the description one. But the knot that I like to use for this JDM braid, since it's so fine, is just a Palomar knot, but doubled over. So one loop through, second loop, well, help if I didn't drop my jig, and then just tighten her down, and you good to go. Caught something. What she is? Chill out, homie. Another species. That is a common shiner. I had somebody comment in one video saying that these were a dace. These are not a dace, but they're fun fish. They're super aggressive, and there's usually a lot of them whenever you find one. Oh, heck, I didn't even realize that one hit the water. Another little common shiner. I've seen a couple more swimming along the bank down here. We got a little bit of a stoppage. Hopefully there'll be something swimming along down yonder. Oh, well, you was all about it. Yeah, you're a little red. I was reeling up to recast, and that one came along and grabbed her. These little red breasts are just super, super colorful. All right, we're gonna give her just a few more minutes, because I think this has been a successful enough trip for this little Greenway. I want to hit this little end right here, walk away around, or a ways around, and see what all is lurking in these majestic waters. No, that's not worth casting into. It's not deep enough, and I can already tell there's nothing over there. This looks promising though. It's not real deep, but it's slow moving water. I mean, there is some current, but it's slow enough moving water. And it's usually in places like this right here is where you're going to find a lot of your shiners and creek chubs and things like that. Yep, there was one bite from one. Your shiners and creek chubs, though, they typically like to hold off on the outer edges, especially in the deeper parts like that right there, right on the edge of that calmer water. Well, we got something. That is a creek chub of some sort. Yeah, it's a creek chub of some sort. There's about 4 billion different species of creek chubs. I'm not too familiar with all of them, but creek chub is close enough for now, at least. You're probably wondering, why am I bothering with 12-pound braid, and such a heavy rod and line for these little creek chubs and shiners and stuff like that? Well, this rod is really my multi-purpose rod. I can throw some big inline spinners, jigs, stuff like that for crappie, bass. And the rod's also soft enough to throw really light jigs like this, like these little 1/100th ounce jigs and plastics, paired with, light enough line to do so. But with that 12-pound braid being as thin diameter as it is, if I were to come across a little bit bigger fish, I've got the line to handle it, and more than enough rod, because like I said, this is I believe a medium light rod. Well, medium fast, but it feels more like a medium light to me, which Medium light is a very, very versatile power rod. Of course, it's different from brand to brand, but you know, it can handle throwing light stuff. It can throw bigger stuff. Oh, there was one, I missed it. Darn it. I know for a fact that there's some hiding right there, like right in the back of this little pocket behind these bushes, because they're coming out and hitting it every time I get it close. Oh, shoot. I got that one. What the heck? Like, what am I supposed to do with you? Little bitty tiny green sunfish. Like, that isn't... Stop. That that is an aquarium size fish. If I had one, I would probably keep one sometime, but I don't, so that one goes back. See if we can get back in there one or two more times and see what's in there. Gotcha. I watched you kind of eyeball it. You know, like I've said before, I've probably got people watching this or come across it and think, why is he having fun with such tiny fish? And probably thinking, why is he taking pictures of every fish he catches? Well, one, I'm a numbers angler. I prefer catching numbers of fish regardless of how big they are or how small they are. I ain't going to complain if I get into something big, but I'm more about catching numbers of fish and seeing what all other little species, there we go, got something else, what other species are hiding in these little creeks that nobody targets. Another little creek, El Chubberoni. And secondly, I take pictures of every fish that I catch because I have a logbook. And when I get to where I update my logbook, I just delete the pictures. That way I don't have a billion pictures of fish on my phone. Ooh, there's something nice right there. Well, that's not what I casted for, but I'll take it. But yeah, another little common shiner. Somebody said those were dace. Dace have a more pointed face than, no pun intended, than a common shiner does. Common shiners have a lot bigger scales. Well, got something there. Oh, shoot. Yeah, we got it back. It's a little bitty red. That was quick. Now this, dadgummit, it came off. I made a kind of irrational decision to cast well over that log right there, or that tree, and as soon as it hit the water, something grabbed it. But unfortunately, it didn't stay hooked. And you know what? Screw it. We're going to go ahead and call it. We caught fish, and that is all that matters. Got to experience a semi-new creek. Like I said a dozen times already. I've only fished here one or two other times, and this has definitely been the best of those times that I've fished this. So I'll see y'all here in just a minute. Alright, well, that is the end of it. That was a pretty good trip down here. Now, like I said, these greenways are in every state and probably in just about every town. So if you want to find a greenway, just look up greenways near me or something like that on Google or Apple Maps, Google Maps, or Onyx maybe, and you'll find some of these little parks, and just look for a little walking trail that goes around it, or you know, follows a little path of sorts, or within a reasonable walk of a lot of them. Now, I don't know about every single state, but nearly all of them around here it's not bad of a walk. They're usually like within a few feet of them. But anyway, I'm gonna get home, get started on editing this video, and try to figure out where I want to, or what Greenway I want to fish tomorrow or in the next day or so, because I would like to do at least 5 consecutive Greenways in a row. So anyway, I'm gonna get home, get that took care of, planned out,